And then, hey, scene transition. Way, way. There's bleeding loads of them, bud. Loads of them. What's the crack? It's your host, Skarnir, as usual. Welcome to another hobby hangout. And today we have none other than the Pale Ork himself from down under.
How's it going, guys?
What's the story, bud? Is it all working fine? See, this is the problem. Like, you never know. Today with the old audio. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're grand. We're grand. Don't forget, we've put up the links for the Discord, so if you're doing some work in progress with us, post it up as you go along. And speaking of work in progress, what are you going to be working on, bud? What are you working on at this hobby hangout?
Going for Fluffy, I think. I was going to do a Pain Boy, but I decided against it, so I got the old Mega Mech, Mecha fucking Dread or whatever it is.
Whatever they call it these days.
Yeah, the big fucking Dread, right?
The big
big
killy robot. That's it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So big killer robot. I've got a whole heap of riveting and shit to do. Which is an absolute nightmare because I hand cut my rivets. So
I saw that. I'm like, you're a bit of a madman. There's people who are making rivets, and then there's you who's like,
there's no, that's not gonna focus. Hand cut.
Your hand cut. Like, what are you using? Are you using like, I know that you can get punches. Are you using like a leather punch?
Nah.
Are you using
So
what do you?
knife, card, steel ruler, to strips,
Yeah.
and then from strips to squares,
Yeah.
and from squares I cut the edges off, or the corners basically, and wither it down to be roughly similar sizes in trying to aim for like a hex head on it. But yeah, so that's how I do mine.
You madman. I love it.
I just reckon although it's way harder than it needs to be, it's yeah, I reckon it looks a whole lot better. I feel like it's a lot more orky. It doesn't make sense to me that orcs, the way that they are, would have rivets, like just tiny rivets. It doesn't make sense. For me personally.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I get you, but that is madness. That's your, I'm like, all right, fair enough. Yeah, normally I'll just get like rod, like styrene rod, and just sort of like slice it like a salami. You know what I mean? Just sort of.
Yeah. So what drew me to doing this was when I wanted to do rivets originally, I could not source any of the rod to actually do it.
I see.
So then I started doing it like this, and I just haven't changed the way that I do it.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Especially in the time that we're in now, it's like, well, if you don't have to have it, you have to sort of, make up what you can, I suppose. Would that be the term? Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're getting
are you working on your grub tank?
Yeah, I am indeed. I brought out the big mech to show what I've been pinning and stuff like that. But yeah, since you were building something, I decided to go for mucking around with the old grub tank. So it's out again. Hey, the fabled project that sort of like never wants to be bleeding finished. We'll have a crack at some running gear for this guy. So that's what the plan for today is.
The Pale Ork motivating hobbyists since 2020.
That's it, man. That's it. What I was looking at is the front of it. I'm actually thinking of ripping some of these rivets off and giving it some teeth with Plasticraic. Just a couple. Nothing too crazy.
Teeth or like spikes?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. They're like spikes that look like teeth.
Like these?
Hold on. Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I think I'll rip some of these off here, and see, the problem is trying with white styrene. There we go. Look, I'll rip some of these off here and make space, and I'll give it like a glyph tooth there and a glyph tooth there, and maybe one or two, just something like that. Because all of the little grot tanks, that's the thing they sort of do. So I'll do that for now, and then I'm still see the thing that stumped me the last time was the running gear, because it's like I need to Well, it's not that I need to. I decided I wanted to make it from scratch. I was like, oh yeah, I can make tracks from scratch. And I did that, but they were a bit big. I still have them for another project.
Yeah.
This little bits box here. Like, that's tons of fun. Takes up shed loads of time, but it is great crack building this track. But I reckon I need to make stuff that's half that thickness. Yeah. Stuff that's probably half this thickness.
I'm just thinking I had the scrap built tankies in there. 1 second.
Bits and bobs. Where did this scrap come from? Oh, they were going to be... These were going to be... These were going to be grot turrets, I think, for the looted. I was going to make a looted wagon bits for it, yeah. I still have all that. So they're looted wagon bits. We'll leave them.
So this isn't an orc one, but this is a Plasticraic Vindicator.
Ah. So is that built from scratch yourself, or?
Yep.
Nice.
So the tracks bits. So it's the tracks, that top plate, the bloody, what is it, smoke launcher, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a random bit of uranium off the front. I'm not even sure. I think that might actually be the proper bracket off the kit for what was the dozer blade. And then I have no idea where this cannon thing's from. I think it's actually like junk. I don't think it's actually meant to be a cannon. Because, yeah, I've had this for years. Like, could not tell you how long. So.
And
yeah.
you're running it as a Vindicator, are you?
Yeah, I was, yeah. I haven't played Marines for
years.
a
You
long
saw the
time
light.
now, but yeah.
You came to your senses eventually. It's like, oh, well, you know, we're playing Marines, but...
It was funny, because, like, the original armies I used to play were, like, Tyranids and Chaos back when I was in, like, early high school. And I went from, like, combat-based armies to combat-based armies to orcs being combat-based. And then when I was like, oh, I'm going to branch out, I'll play some Marines. And then I went Blood Angels, which is combat-based.
I'll diversify my portfolio and try something different, and you end up back. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So what I ended up doing was running shooty orcs.
Shooty orcs.
Yeah, when I finally decided to switch it up, I was running gunline orcs.
But they can be fun. I like orcs with some fire support, because I find that if you don't give the enemy some fire support to be ducking their head down from, you tend to lose a lot more orcs.
Yep.
So we'll try some running gears. What we'll try.
Well, I'm keen to actually, once all this corona shit's out of the way, to get some games in with some of those mechs that I've put together.
Yeah, man, that'd be sweet. Yeah. You've got a.
I haven't actually played with a shock attacker mech because I didn't have the model until I made it. So.
Yeah, be interesting, alright. Be interesting. Let's have a look and see who's in the chat. Oh, sweet Jesus, they've been chatting. Have you guys been chatting since 9 o'clock? We've Marcos, Novani, Dreads here. G Funk.
Marcus, hello.
What's the crack?
G Funk, he sure is a pale git.
Hans Gruber's here. What's the crack, bud? Who have I missed? Anyone?
Gearguts is in, and Brack.
Gearguts is here. Yeah. What's the crack? Good afternoon. Brack's here as well. Another Aussie from down unders. If for those who didn't know, that's where the Pale Ork is from. So yeah, like if people are watching and they don't know you, like you're running an orc channel, so fire away, like introduce yourself.
It's not so much orc. It's pretty much 40k. It's just very much focusing on orcs. Because I do intend on doing some terrain stuff or more terrain stuff. Because I do have a couple of videos on there. Yeah, mostly
bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Always a good idea. Always a good idea. Yeah, don't brand yourself as just orc then if you plan on doing other stuff, because people tend to bitch at you when you're like, oh, I want to do Battletech. No, Skarnir, no. Stick to the orcs, please. It's like, all right.
So, like, yeah, you changed your name so you could open your brand up and everyone's...
I know, yeah. I love. It's like I changed the name of the channel so I could It's like a diversifying. I've done more orc content now since I've rebranded than I did like in the months ensuing to it. I was like, oh, I should rebrand myself so I can do some BattleTech stuff. Yeah, yeah. So I can do other wargaming things because I do plan on doing other stuff.
Exclusively orc content.
And now it's like just pretty much orc content at the moment because there was like a release. I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. Give that a bash. Typical.
It's pretty good.
Typicals. So
I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good crack. Like I've a few video or two in the works. I have a few bits and pieces I need to go over. G-Funk's there. Evening Scouts, the crack. Casey Man's here. About the Primor boys. Good man. Good man. My latest painting shenanigans were these gits. I've been painting up these looters. I'm just trying to get them like tabletop standard sort of ish.
How many you running list?
How many do I have?
No. In the 1500 point that you're putting together for the knob bash.
Yeah.
Or the boss knob bash that you're doing.
The knob bash.
Yeah.
I like it.
You Steve-O and Dread. 1500 points. Yeah.
Our 1500 point lists. Yeah, I think so. Well, originally it was 1,000 points, and then someone twisted someone's arm, and we were like, sure, Jesus, like, we'll go for 1,500. Like, you know what I mean?
Because Steve was like, fine, fuck this. I'll just add 3 dreads to my list.
It was like, I didn't agree to this. This is not what I agreed to. Yeah, it got changed up a bit, but yeah, it's a bit of crack. You know yourself.
I commented on this thing. I was like, don't forget, you've also got the Gorkanaut and Morkanaut kits that you just put together, the MDF kits.
That's true. Yeah, Steve-O could bolster up his force
a whole lot of stuff
pretty easily if he wanted to. It's up to him.
He's definitely got the miniatures. He just needs to paint stuff. But if he was going to do it quickly and with the least amount of models, then yeah, you could have just added a couple of the big stompy cans instead of a 3 full death dreads.
True that. Right now, I'm just trying to think of how.
I'm hoping I've got enough rivets here to actually do this, because I don't want to have to cut more.
Oh, did you prepare for the stream beforehand? It's like, I'll pre-make a load of rivets. Sure, it'll be grand.
I spent a couple of hours cutting them.
It's like, I need to get that. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like thankfully this is a project I sort of put on hiatus for a long time. So it's like, I have some bits I built. I'll decide, but then I'm looking at some of these bits and I'm like, what in the bejesus was I using them for? I'm like, what?
Casey Mad non-bash sounds like a party. Lol.
For some, maybe. For some, yeah.
That's not actually the genuine title. Just going into that, guys. That's just what I'm calling it, because all the 3 people that are in charge of the War Forum are the non-bosses, basically. I'd call them, and then yeah, they're all beating each other up. So it's non-bash. That's my title.
It's expected, when 2 of us run a show and it's called the 2 Bald Knobs. I think we get the humor. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we get it. Right. So I'm thinking I'll put like a bracket across these guys, and then yeah, we'll do something like that.
G-Funk, the Pale Ork. Tell us about your army, which seems to be mainly bikes themed.
That's true. Why are your orcs pale as well?
What gave you the idea to do green armor and pale skin? Seems like a good topic. Well, we were going to get into that at some point, but
he's jumping the gun. But sure,
get into it. Yeah,
sure. Why not?
So we've got when I first started playing orcs, I wanted them to stand out. It was basically the driving force behind me doing the pale skin, because I'd been to a few tournaments and seen orc armies, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. But it didn't seem, I didn't just want to have orcs, like just generic. I don't want to be the same as everybody else and be the same as everybody else. So that was the driving force behind having them as pale skinned, because the store owner that was at my local game shop, the Craig, but everyone else on here would know him as Mouse Muffins.
Mouse Muffins.
Yeah, he's an absolute madman. Really insanely good at the hobby. And he's he used to live where I live now, and was a shop owner. And just going into like the segue of another thing that inspired me to do the pale skinned orcs is one time I walked into the game shop and he was working on orcs. So I'd previously seen him build out of like foam and then green stuff an entire like squiggith, like a big squiggith for his feral orc army that he did, and it looked insane. Like the guy was an absolute insanely good sculptor and just great at hobby all over. But he was working on American themed orcs. So they had the it's like World War II. The Vietnam War with the American helmet, and with the orcs he painted them up like Americans with like the pale skin, had the 5 o'clock shadow on there. Someone was with like cigars coming out of their heads, because he just felt like that they looked like the big commandos and stuff. So yeah, he just started doing some of those, and after I saw those, I was like, man, I'm definitely gonna do that.
So that's where your pale inspiration came from, was it?
Yeah. And then when I didn't start orcs. I think it was like 15 or 16 when I finally started. Like I'd played the game for a long time, but I didn't have the money to actually get into it until I was 15, 16. And I bought 2 boxes of, I can't remember what it's bloody called. Salt on
Blackreach. Yeah,
that's the one. Salt on Blackreach. So I started. Me and a friend went halves in 2 boxes, so that he could have the marine stuff and I could have the orc stuff. And we both thought that, yeah, that's a pretty good. Like we both spend the same amount of money, and it's a very solid start to what was in Orc Army.
Yeah.
So after that, I was pretty much orcs until 5 or 6 years later when I finally decided to split off and buy some Marines. And then I had like I've got mids and stuff, but that's basically friends quit the hobby and they gave me their stuff.
Oh, guys dropped out and they were like, "Here, you can have it."
Yeah. So I've like inherited an army with the Tyranids, a shitload of marine stuff on top of the stuff that I already had. But the driving force behind the Pale Ork bike stuff is, for as early as I could remember, I liked theming orcs in other armies. So like can spam, not just plain orcs, but like can spam was a thing. So I've got like a heap of cans, but I don't have killer cans. And now I've got this fluffy, he's going to be insane. But Ravenwing, the marine army, I always loved the idea of running all bikes, or like White Scars. Loved the look of the army, having all bikes, just everything runs in, shoots the shit out of stuff, runs away, hit and run tactics. And I loved the way that it played, but I didn't like Marines on bikes. So I didn't want to build it as a Marine bike.
Yeah.
And I had never had the models or the opportunity to sub to make an orc army out of it. And then one day, it was only not even 6 months ago, I was on a buy swap sell and found this guy was selling probably 30, it was like 27 bikes, like war bikers, and then it was like 2 war bosses on bikes, the start of what was my Death Trike that he hadn't done anything with, and then there's a couple other things. Just like 5 or 6 non-bikers on bikes, and all of that. And I was like, man, $200, screw it, I'm getting it.
So what was he doing? Was he like getting out of the hobby, or was he like downsizing?
So he got it all, and he hadn't done anything with it for years, and then he finally decided he was getting rid of it. But it worked out well because my father-in-law actually lived really close to where he was, so I got him to organise him to go pick it up. But yeah, was pretty happy.
Yeah, nice, man. That's a pretty sweet deal. Are you going to get the opportunity then? Like, is there still local players where you are? And I suppose the term "local" in Australia is different to what other people would be.
It's very generalised. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've for a long time. So the store that I was talking about with Mouse Muffins was years ago. So he's in Melbourne now, and he works as a professor of art and teaches art and works for Miniature Scenery, which Steve-O did some reviews for.
Oh, was that that's where you got the Gork art and stuff from, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Miniature Scenery, Craig is one of the lead designers on there, and he's done, basically, if you look at their thing, I'm pretty sure anything that just you look at and go, man, that looks nuts. It's him. So when he closed up shop and then moved away, the Wargamers basically had a hole in their life where they didn't have anything to do, so they put a club together. And before I actually started going to said club, they'd already been around for a couple of years, and they'd, as a club, had been very active in the tournament scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like down in Melbourne, so like 3 hours away. They'd travel all the way to Melbourne to play in like team comps and all this other stuff, and do pretty well. Like we won in Australia. It was, I'm not even sure if it's still running. It's is it ITCC or the Interclub Challenge. So you'd go in as a team of like 4, and then play your games, and then as a team you would score to see who won at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Bad Gaming, so Bairnsdale and District Gaming Group that I'm actually part of, won it a couple of years. So we had a few really good players in the midst, but a lot of them have gone to uni and gone off and done other stuff, but we've still got the few people that hang around as far as active members go. I dropped off for a while playing Magic the Gathering and stuff.
Oh, you were playing Magic, were you?
Yeah, and it's kind of stopped the hobby stuff for a while. I need to get back into it.
So you fell out. So what got you back in then? What was it that drew you back?
You guys, basically.
Us? Who's us?
Yeah.
Us. Let me guess. Steve-O, Dread. The rest.
So Dread first.
Dread. Oh, there we go. He's a bad influence. That I tell you.
Found Dread first, and it was shortly after finding Dread I actually reached out to him, and he's mentioned it a couple of times on his channel. I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey man, seen your channel, like what you do," and because I've done a YouTube channel previously on Magic stuff, so I'd had a good deal of fucking around with all that kind of stuff for like intros, banners, and just overall web design kind of stuff is something that I really like doing.
It's almost like we're using one right now.
Yeah. So the first one that I reached out to was Dread, and I did his logo, his intro, his outro. And so the logo
I remember
the
that.
logo I'm talking about is his dice that he's got, the Dreadwire Gaming dice that sits in the bottom corner. Yeah, I did that for him. His intro was all the community art that he had on his channel. I put it all together in an intro.
Yeah, his competition. I remember that where there were some crazy entries for that. That was pretty cool, actually.
But yeah, that ended up making a pretty cool intro. And then the lettering that I did, that he now has on his channel for the Dreadwire Gaming, I did all that as well, specifically for his channel. And then ended up getting onto you and Steve-O and did your overlays for you.
Fair play to you. I've actually been trying to like figure out how to make overlays because I was like, oh yeah, I do these hobby hangouts, like these streams. But visually I was like, oh yeah, they need a little something. It's like you come up with the basis of it. But you know, you need a bit of icing on top, and I was like, yeah. And then you came along, you were like, here, I can do this, and I was like, what a coincidence. So yeah,
it's almost like it was deliberate.
Almost. Dun, dun, dun. It's been tapping me phone wires and stuff.
Get in with the big bosses so that I can plug my channel more.
Yeah, that's it. You can plug it. You can plug it, you gits. Get over there and subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Race to 1,000 subs, Brack, I'm gonna kick your ass, bring it up.
That's it. You and Brack are having a little head-to-head, aren't you? Trying to Trying to get to
So,
1,000 subs.
I'm not sure what he's at yet. Please excuse the screaming kids in the background. That's my youngest. He's very chatty in the morning. He's only 7 months old.
Bless. 7 months old. So you're keeping yourself busy, man. How do you find time for the hobby then? Like, obviously, in the time we're currently in, you know, we're all either locked in or still plugging away.
That's a big part of it is the fact that I can't really go anywhere and do anything.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of that happening at the moment, and folk are getting a lot of painting done. That's why the resale value on a lot of the washes has skyrocketed, because people have realised it's like, hold on a minute, I'm getting all this painting done, but then I'm running out of wash, and there's not many stores open, so people are paying silly money for bottles of wash and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is understandable. But yeah, I'm actually getting stuff painted myself. I'm shocked and appalled with myself. Brack is saying 62-ish, but who's counting?
Ish, but who's counting?
Ish.
He is at the end of every video.
So who do you think's going to win then? Who do you think's going to be the first?
I don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy?
I don't want to be
it's
that
like,
guy.
I like a friendly comp. I don't want to stick. We'll have to see. We'll see. I'll be interested to see.
I'm just going to jump on and check it out. What have we got?
Not that I'm stoking the fires of competition between the two of you or anything. You know what I mean?
I've cracked the ton. I'm at the ton.
You're at the 100 mark, have you?
Yep, just hit the 100.
Nice.
And the old brick is 61. Yeah.
So he's getting there. He's getting there.
Can't hurt the try, man.
That's it. The two.
I couldn't get over. So when we were doing a bit of a video exchange, back and forth between me and Brack, I was talking to him through comments, and he said to me that some guy reached out to him just to say, "I'm not subscribing to your channel because your content's shit."
Oh.
and then went on to say that mine was so much better, and then swore at him and blocked him. It's like, what? What an asshole!
I don't know. That's the internet, man. You're gonna get haters. I think
seems a bit rough.
That is a bit rough, but sure. You know, you have to start somewhere. If you look at my really old videos, boy, Jesus, they're bleeding horrendous.
Dude, on my Gen 1 channel, the old Magic channel, that's they start. You
have to start somewhere, like.
Yeah.
You know, I find that like amusing that people don't quite get that concept. Even like the live hobby hangouts, they've evolved over time. Like originally it was just me, and then it changed to getting guests on, and like things change over time, and you try and polish and refine it a bit, or just make sure it doesn't crash and burn horribly. Sometimes that happens. But yeah, I think it's always fun. I enjoy it when you're watching someone starting off, and they don't have everything spick and span starting off with. You know what I mean? And then you get to watch them like evolve over time and find their footing. They're like, oh, this is what I do. This is the thing I'm really into. Yeah. I always find that kind of interesting with channels.
Roxy the Riveter is in.
Hey, Roxy! What's the crack?
Some content out.
What's the crack?
Just a light nudge.
Oh yeah, slight poke. Yeah, Roxy, show off your builds. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to.
She does it all over Instagram and stuff. There's a lot of followers.
She does. I am following her on Instagram. She does a lot of the stuff on Instagram.
Carl Reiki. Well, who has a shock attack gun, and who's going to be using PA effectively?
Psychic Awakening. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I just gave.
Well, I'm tempted to.
G-Front was the 100 for me. Cheers for that. Pale Ork. Brack says the Pale Ork will win. He has actual content. Where I have to rely on tricky marketing.
Let's see what.
Hey, Scar, what kind of video setup have you got from Celtic table painting?
what kind of video setup do I have? Like physical or like software? Software, I use OBS, and I just like capture. Like normally when I'm doing a hobby hangout with someone, I do like what we're doing now. So I'll do a window capture for the guests. So the Pale Ork, I'll get them to go on like Google Hangouts, and we're in a video chat over there. So I just capture that screen, and then I just layer it over in OBS. So I use all of this sort of layout is OBS. The Pale Ork was really fucking cool and did this overlay, which is an image he's drawn. Is it like a, what is it, a PNG file? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did like a PNG file, which means like the background of it is invisible, and he did all this out. So then you just layer that on top, that type of thing. And yeah, you just
I did it for this one. I did it for the Two Old Knobs one.
Yeah, you've done a fair bit, man.
I did the rest of the shitload for you.
Exactly. Some variation for me for thumbnails. Fair play to him, but I'll sort them out. Don't worry. I'm just waiting for some goodies to arrive, and we'll send them down under.
Damn, fucking keen for Gaz.
So am I, man. I'm heartbroken. It's like I still don't have him. But it's all right. Do you know what I mean? It's like part of me is like lamenting the fact I don't have it, and then the other part of me is like, you know, reminds myself as I look around and I'm like, that's unpainted, that's not built, that's unpainted. It's like I've no reason to be bitching at the moment.
Just to put it into context for anyone that's like, what the fuck are they blabbering on about? So I did a heap of overlays for him, and as a thank you, he's sending me a Gaz skull because he's one of those mad bastards that went and ordered two of the.
I did. I went and ordered
two of the prophecies.
Yeah, one of those gits. I have to say the Space Wolf side of it is
I'm gonna end up with a Gaz.
You will indeed, my friend. When all of this quarantine bollocks
I'm going to be
over.
painting it gold, like I inspired that other guy to do, and his turned out so good.
I saw that,
so
yeah.
I was like, well, when he put the comment up, he's like, "Oh, what should I paint this guy as?" I'm like, "It's Skull, the God Emperor of Orcs." So go for gold.
He's like,
hey, that's a good idea. And then he did it, and holy shit. I'm like, yep, that's definitely what I'm doing my night.
And it looks sweet as well, man. It looked like it looks good. It's a good colour scheme. Yeah, surprising.
I don't want to paint the Gaz specifically in my theme of just green. I reckon it'll look really naff.
What, you don't think it'll work?
No, I'm sure it'll work. It's just he'll turn into this giant green blob on the table, which is not something I really want him to look like. I want him to stand out. But I don't want to paint him like a goth.
Underlying goth hatred.
Yes, he's a goth, but I just don't want to paint him that way.
Sorry. He might be a goth, but I'm not painting him.
Yeah.
Come on, rivet.
Oh, sorry, chat. I'm neglecting you. 1 second. Celtic. Yeah, like how does your camera sit and show your hands?
Oh, I've got
Have you got something on a stick, like a boom or something?
I have a flexible mount, so it's like a flexible arm mount that I have. It's it's just like a flexible arm mount with a clamp on one end, and then it's got a. It has. Do you know what I'll do? I'll take a picture and I'll put it in the work in progress Discord so people can see instead of moving cameras all over the place and wrecking the fucking gaff. Yeah, it's like a little flexible mount. I think it's originally for like mobile phones. So it's like a clamp, a flexible arm, and then you can put like various things on the head mount. So one of them, I think there's like a. I bought it off of Amazon. You can have one that's for your GoPro. There's one that's a clamp for like a mobile phone, and then I have this one. There's another attachment that fits for cameras. So the webcam, the C920s I use, they have like that universal thread slot that you can use for cameras. So you can put them on tripods, and I'll put it in the live stream work in progress so you can see. It's just like a flexible mount. Whoa.
Nick Tomlin, evening lads. How's it going?
What's the crack, bud? Scar got a 3D printer build kit. I haven't built it yet, Dave. I'm afraid not. I'm staring at it. I just haven't had the time to sort stuff out. One thing at a time, you know. I can't paint miniatures and work on grow tanks and build 3D printers. You know, it's like pick one, lads. Pick one. Roxy's just super glued her fingers together.
As Jeff Warpclaw, hey guys, narrative-wise, a regular orc boss knob for a group of orc sluggers would be better with a cybernetic slugger or what other weapon? It depends what your army is, I'd say, really.
That's what you need, Roxy.
If you're
someone cure.
The blood axes or whatever, then that doesn't really make sense, does it?
What's as a Jeff asking?
If you're more into the mech style, yeah.
Regular orc boss knob for a group of orc sluggers would look better with a cybernetic slugger or what other weapon? I like using power claws or like see it's
I fairly exclusively have knobs with claws.
Like I see it as like a sort of status symbol for knobs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not always the best idea, but I don't always give it to them either. But it's good in game as well.
The only other thing I'll do is, if it's a shooter boy unit, I might have a combi scorcher on the knob. Just as a way to get more hits in.
To get more shooting in. Now, do you bother with big shooters for your shooter boy knobs? Or mobs? Because I do for to lols.
So until recently, I hadn't even... I say recently. My original orc list, so anyone who's seen my showcase, my original orc list is pretty much everything that was there, minus a few of the characters that I've recently kitbashed and painted, all of the bikes. So I was like a unit of flash kits in a battle wagon or a gun wagon, and then it was 3 units of trucks, so 12 boys in a truck. 1 unit was 12 sluggers, 1 unit was 12 shooters, 1 big shooter in that, and another unit was a unit of hard boys, back when they were an actual 4+ armor, so they were worth fucking taking.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So,
don't remind me.
I can't believe they did that. Makes me so mad. And I've just realised I am so short on rivets.
that bad? Have you chipped away at them that much already?
I've done so many. It looks fucking wicked though. It looks so good.
Well, that's it, man. You know what I mean? It's like when you're sitting down and riveting something, it's like, oh, but it looks so nice.
It's not focusing.
I need to quit.
The lighting is not fantastic. Right.
Hold on. Give us a look. We'll do a close cam. Hold on. Look.
I think I'll turn my autofocus off. 1 second. So I'll back it on there real quick. I just wanted to stop it from going in and out of focus when I'm sitting still. Hey!
Hey! So these are all hand-cut rivets.
Every one of them.
Hand-rounded.
So I've done... So just a bit of context here. The shoulders, both the shoulders are riveted. I've done 3/4 of the top section. I've riveted all the side bit on the arms, under the arms, the legs, and over here as well. Yeah, I've done a bit.
It's impressive. I like it.
Do you like the dreadnought that I've got him standing on?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I always like a little...
Did the cabling coming out of the socket?
Is that the Assault and Blackreach one?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I've got like 3 of them, and I don't play Marines.
So it's like, you can be sacrificed as basing material.
Exactly.
Nice. Nice.
I just reckon it looks cooler, but he's like perched up on it.
Wait, yeah. There's 2 ways to look at it. Do you know what I think is good is if you play against a mate a lot. I like doing little things like that, like putting little helmets on the ground. Yeah. Like say I used to play against me who had Space Marines and they were purple, so I had a looted rhino at one point, and the looted rhino was red, but I specifically painted one of the doors on the side of it to look like his faction, and then I painted like some of the helmets in his chapter color. You know what I mean? He made his own chapter.
Yeah.
I always find that fun when you do it to your mates. You know, when you're trying to wind each other up a little bit, just a little bit of.
I've got one friend that when I got back into playing more recently was like playing 8th ed. Actually, he went playing 8th ed. He had a tournament list of Tyranids that he was trying to take to what is Arcanicon in Australia. So it's our biggest 40k tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And he was taking it to that. So it was a very competitive list. And I ended up playing against him once, twice a week for a long time. And it's constantly just getting stomped into the ground because this list was deliberately trying to be competitive and I was just using what I had basically painted. And it was fun. But yeah, bloody Tyranids. So if I was going to do that kind of thing, like theme my bases to be versing my enemy, I'd have Tyranid stuff smushed under the feet of my boys and that.
Your mates' needs.
Yeah. Okay,
well, that's good though as well when you're dealing, because when you play against your mates, because like you'll have spare orc heads and bits and stuff, like, so you can always trade with each other if they want to do the same type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always good for a bit of friendly banter, you know.
Okay, so way behind on the chat here. 1 second. Roxy's super gluing her fingers together.
She is. I did say, Roxy, you need to get yourself some Uncure. This is specifically why I bought this.
G-Funk, how are you both going to do your Gaz skull? So I'm going to paint mine like the God Emperor of Orcs. So he's going to be nice and gold, but he's going to look grimy, not so shiny. So I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he did it recently. If you go to the Orc community, you should be able to find it somewhere. There's a giant gold Gaz. Pretty much like that, except I'm probably going to go a little bit grimier in my how I do mine. I'm not sure how Scar's going to do his. I can only guess that it's going to be like a giant camo looking thing.
I don't know. Like, I haven't decided yet. It's like one of two ways. Either I'm going to just paint them up stock, or I could do some crazy camo compilation. But then it's like, you know,
the camo would look cool.
Would I just make them my own version of a war boss and just sort of like proxy and Gaz? See, this is the thing that it's a bit annoying to me. It's like I understand that special characters have their clans, and when you're building your detachments, it's like Gazi isn't detrimental towards that. But it's a little bit annoying because he's Goth, so it's like, oh, well, I expect to see him in with Goths. So if I was doing Gazgul, like I've thought about it a lot, if I was doing Gazgul and I was doing him Goth, I'd have to do a Goth detachment for him. Because
I was thinking the same thing. I'd run like a big unit of knobs.
Yeah, knobs
and mega knobs, all dark like Goths. Yeah.
Yeah, make like a bully boys formation. Like that's... If you're new to orcs, Gazgul's bodyguards are called the bully boys, and then normally they're like mega armored knobs and war bosses and stuff like that. So
sorry, I'm just laughing. It's like screaming, but not like in a bad way. It's exciting.
Ah, no, of course, trying to join in the wild. You know what I mean? Start 'em young, mate. That's all. Just get a paintbrush in the hand. So get that base count and green down smoother. In your case, pale.
Hey. Modeling your advantage. Words are hard. Modeling for advantage. Evening all. Hey, how's it going?
What's the crack, bud?
Roxy Derivative is going to be chopping her Gaz into pieces.
Could do. You could get like a jeweler saw to him if you wanted to.
It looks so good, but I kind of want to do the same thing that I did with my Death Dread and add all the extra cabling and stuff if I'm going to have him, just so that I can make him more individual to me. And I think it'll look cool.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's what it boils down to. That's the thing that I've been sort of hemming and hawing about in my head is, what way do you want to go with your Gazgul? Do you want to make him unique to you and your army? Or do you want to go and try and make him as faithful as possible so that he is, Gazgul? You get me? I suppose that's the two directions you can go with him. And I personally haven't decided yet with my one what way I want to go with him. Like I said, I could go and just make him up as traditional Gazgul in his golf colours and, you know, his normal stuff, and just do a detachment for him. Like, I've enough miniatures to do that. That's not the end of the world for me. And I suppose narratively that's a bit more true to the fluff, you know, having separate detachments for separate detachments for separate clans, you know what I mean? Because I've been thinking about bikes myself.
Because yes, I haven't played clans enough. Haven't played clans with enough diversity in ATAG yet to figure out how many detachments can I have and varying clans before it's like detrimental. Like, isn't there a point where if you have too many, the clan things don't count?
Yeah, so like when you're building your detachments, yeah, unless there's a rule that specifies in a unit that it can be with a different clan, like for instance, freebooters don't affect your detachment being battle forged. You want them to be battle forged to get their clan abilities. So that basically means you want all of the same type of clan in a specific detachment. I think you can have up to 3 separate detachments. Like this sort of, you know, if you're playing normal games against people, they sort of expect you to go by like the competitive standard. Well, over here anyway. So that's like 3 detachments, maximum in like 2,000 points, but it sort of changes a bit. So if you're aiming for 3 detachments, you want to try and get as many command points as you want, and then, well, it all depends. Like, you're going for command points and also different clans with different clan abilities. So if I was doing my clan, like I have me looters that are blood axes, but if I was being more competitive with them, I'd actually have that as a separate detachment for bad moons, just so that they could get access to like the showing off stratagem. So
for sure.
by playing my stuff as pure blood axe, it's actually detrimental on the tabletop. You get me?
Yeah, same thing with me running. So I like Directing, but I really like. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that's an awesome evil Sun's army," and I'm like, "No, I actually run them as bad moons because I like the rerolling ones. If I'm going to throw a bucket of shooting, I want to reroll as many ones as I possibly can." And then they're like, with you recently saying the Cult of Speed from Vigilus.
Oh, Vigilus, yeah, Vigilus. You can use it that way. Yeah,
you can run them as evil sons and do this, and then you get a turn 1 combat from 30 inches away. And now I'm like, man, I'm going to try that out. So I'm going to switch it up. But yeah,
that's another thing I'm coming up against myself at the moment, is wanting to use other clans, but still wanting to have sort of like the visual theme across the whole army. So still wanting to use Blood Axe colours and such. So if I came up with a theory of how I can get around it. It's like if I want to do an Evil Sons detachment, I could do them up in red camouflage so that they're Evil Sons in red, but they're still sort of Blood Axe. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And I suppose you could do that with other armies as well. You could do like reds, but then put in yellows into it as well. So it'd be like they're Evil Sons, but they're part of your clan. Because I'd expect it, like, fluff wise for my army, they're called it's, you know, my Wa is like Warg Skarnir. That's the Wa. And then my own like headcanon is like my blood axes are called the Camo Killers. And then they sort of, you know, it's more of a space flotilla. They don't actually have a planet. They just go around in a massive armada, sort of sending forces here, there, and whatever. But you know, you're going to as you're like, as the lore goes, like as you know, WAs get bigger and your army gets bigger, you're gonna fold other clans into yours as you beat them up, and you know, you could sort of get them to adopt your colours a bit.
Pale Orks actually had a story behind it. I can't remember where I've put it. I had a big story.
Ah, so you've got a bit of backlog.
Yeah, but my orcs, the only places they can gather WA from is their own planets that they've been on, because any other time they find an orc, the orcs want to kill them because they're pale.
Ah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds
So
interesting, though.
yeah, so there's a tiny. I had a map done up, so with the wire map, and there was like a tiny speck that didn't have anything next to it or any like title. So I like edited in a thing saying Pale Ork wire.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is where this wire's going on. It's not very big because there's only a few, but they're there.
Building momentum is what you're doing. Building momentum. That's the
Ork
important
stuff.
thing.
You're still building that tank scar. Yeah, I got him motivated to actually put
Yeah.
his finger out
Yeah,
and do
that's
some
it.
other
Look,
stuff.
I'm building running gear. You get some.
Hey, you've been doing good with all your painting stuff, dude. You can do an absolute smash on that. It's good.
I have, surprisingly.
Broke the war boss. I was using big choppers for a while. Big choppers are good. Don't mind the old big chopper. Skip right down.
Asking me a question there. Hans was saying, Skarnir, maybe digital camouflage, black and white, still goth, but camouflage keeping it blood axe. Yeah, Hans. Yeah, I think you've posted that before. I said what I was talking about in regards to Evil Sons. Being a cheeky git and doing camouflage colours of the individual clans and get away with it. That's what I'm thinking. But then, like, you can do that with blood axes, but I think you'd have to be a bit more creative with other clans to try and fold them into your clans. I suppose if you had like a blood axe force in any other clan, you just paint their camouflage up in your clan colours. So that'd be pretty straightforward, but I'm thinking that's probably the best thing to do for me. Marcus
says at Plasticraic, maybe you should have bought two so that you can do one as goths and one as blood axes.
Well, I did buy two. That was my original plan and concept, but then I was like, the Pale Ork's doing all this for me. It's like, I'll sort you out, bud. I'll sort you out. You know, you have to share the love. You know what I mean? Maybe later on.
Of my war boss from Azajev Warclaw.
No, it's still good boys in the live stream working pro. Sweet, we'll have a look. We normally do the last like 20 minutes of the stream or such. We'll have a gander. There's quite a lot of stuff you gits is being busy with. Fair play to you.
Pokey Cactus, so I hear a very angry grot in the background. He's not angry, it's actually just happy.
They're
happy squealing.
Yeah, they sound like happy screams. Screams of joy. Modelling for advantage. So we talked about Snotling Blood Bowl teams yet. We have not modelling for advantage. We can talk about Snotling Blood Bowl teams if you want. They've been hit with
not really keen.
Yeah, they've been hit with this sort of scale creep hammer, I think, a bit. Do you know what I mean?
They're not the size of Gretchen.
I think they're about the size of Gretchen, yeah. I think they are, like. They remind me of... Do you know what they remind me of? They remind me of Gretchen Youths, which I called Snots, I think. From Gorka Morka. That's what they remind me of. So they could... I could easily see them being used as, like, young Gretchen. But I wouldn't use them as... Snotlings. Like, I have a load of Snotlings and they're tiny compared to that. You know?
Celtic Table Gaming here, lads, are going to drop off. Chat. Have a good one, eh?
Take it easy, bud. Catch you another time.
Pokey Cactus. I just want to paint my models whatever core clan I feel and ignore rules. That's what I do, man. Mine are green armored, pale skinned orcs, for God's sake, right?
Can do.
G-Funk. Pale is a racist to greenskins. Kills anything not born pale. Hey, it's not. They have to out of like fight or flight, because the greenskin orcs turn up, presumably in greater numbers, and then we've got to come out on top.
And then go, what's wrong with these gits? These gits are weird. That's like orcs. Anything that's sort of like genetically different in the orc genome. Like that's why back in the old days, like Gene Stealer cultist orcs never fared very well. Because the other orcs have come across them and go, these guys are weird, and just like batter them. You know? So.
Could be Roxy. And Roxy goes, Navani, what could be me? The grot screaming in the background.
True. The hobby gets
they're about the size they've always been,
says. They've always been. They're a tad bit bigger. Yeah, they're a bit bigger. I don't know because like Games Workshop do their photo trickery. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, we'll take a picture, and then when you actually get the miniature, it's either tiny compared to what you thought.
But if they're what snotlings are actually supposed to be, those bases can't be 25s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, but that's the thing, though. You don't. It's like if they're on 20, are they on 25s? Or are they? You don't know. You don't know. Well, you would assume they're on 25s.
So what are we all working on, guys? Post your pics in the thing and we'll put them up again. I'm going to be stuck doing... I'm going to take some pictures of mine now.
Probably get saying
on those bases stuck doing cutting riveting.
Dread's like, my neighbours think I've kidnapped a small child. Oh, I love it. It's family-friendly content. Not specifically made for kids, but it's family-friendly. You know what I mean? What is the deal? We sit down and we cut bits of Plasticraic until they conform to the shape we'd like. Till it's appeasing to the eye. And I might actually get this slug and get finished.
After I've done doing a million rivets on this thing, then I've got to attack it with this drill and do all the cabling.
I was actually thinking of, now we're talking about rivets, I was actually thinking of drilling. I left gaps where I would have originally thought in my head that the grots and misputting rivets. But I'm actually thinking I might drill those to show that, like, rivets that have popped. You know what I mean? Just to add a little bit of flavour onto the turret. Like, this thing's pretty much nearly finished. I just need to put a gun, mantle it on the front with a gun. And originally I was going to go with this, but I think it's a bit small. I want to try and go for something else. I did a lot of semicircle Plasticraic pieces, and then I sort of backfilled it with the white milliput and sanded it back so that it's roughly, you know, the right shape. I did sort of like weld seams with milliput, and it doesn't look right. You know what I mean? I think I need to make a bigger one, because I based this off a KV2, and the actual KV2, the gun mantlet isn't the whole front of it. But I think visually for this grot tank, I'll need to make one that feels the whole front, and I'm thinking I'll have to put like a Grotzuka. Like, you know, I know the Grotzuka is not the best in the game, but visually you can't have a KV2 that has like a big shooter for its main gun barrel. That just doesn't seem right to me. You know what I mean? I want to have something that's absolutely stuffed with scrap out the front. Lots of bits of scraps of Plasticraic and ends of spears and spanners and hammers and whatever else I can get me bleeding hands on.
Just a mess of stuff welded to the front end. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If it goes off, it looks like it'll do damage. So I think I'll hold on to this bit for doing a side sponson on a gun. I'll probably clad the front of it.
I always liked the aesthetic of having like stick bombs and bullets and stuff at the front, or in a section of like tanks and stuff, so that it looks like if you're gonna explode, it's gonna be even more devastating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Looks like it'll potentially do more damage to you than the enemy. That's always a good sign.
Yeah. I remember, back to Mouse Muffins, he had when Allies was a big thing, when it first came out and it was a big thing, he had a Allied Death Strike missile in his Ork army, and he actually did up a kit for it for the modeling scenery or whatever it is. And he had this giant, like, Zeppelin-sized rocket that was sitting on the back end of this tank, and it had like the angry like rocket face on it, and then an open mouth that he then proceeded to fill with like rockets and just big bombs and stuff, all in the mouth of this Death Strike missile that he shoot off. He's like, yeah. It looked insane, absolutely insane. But I was like, why would you run that? He's like, it's random in not only when it's going to shoot, but like how big it's going to shoot. Yeah. He's like, what's more orky than that? Like,
that is true. The old Death Strike, it's like, what turn does it go off on? It's like, how big will the blast be?
Exactly. It is very orky.
It is very orky in concept. Roxy, I'm bleeding and I don't know from where. That's the sign of someone doing plasticarding right. It's like the
I
first
took a
sign you
big chunk
realise you've cut
out of
yourself
my.
is either when you wash your hands and you're like, "Ew, that stings," and you've acquired a
I
cut.
took a chunk out of my nail a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Oh man, I managed to stab myself in the leg and everything. Like fun times.
I was cutting card, like trying to get the old dread bloody armor paneling going on. Segue to dread sub.
There you go. Yep. See, shameless plug.
Yeah,
Dad,
yeah, but
have you got your computer yet
not yet.
to, go my assembly? Are there Easter eggs in there?
It'll be soon, bud. Go play.
Bless. Ah. Bless. What's he looking for? Easter eggs?
It's. He can't eat them. He's actually allergic to chocolate. He's just asking why they're there.
He's allergic to chocolate. Oh, me.
Chocolate and tree nuts.
Oh, nose. Heartbroken.
And people looking at him wondering why he's in uniform when schools aren't open. It's because he's spastic.
Yeah.
He just blatantly refuses not to wear. So we're doing in Australia. They're doing like a by correspondence kind of thing.
Oh, are they doing like Zoom classrooms or whatever? There's a lot. I know.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that going.
Remote learning, I think it was called. But
yeah.
He's whenever we're doing school. So we've got a desk set up at the back here. That's where he does all his schoolwork and that. But he refuses not to be dressed in actual
in his
uniform.
school uniform. Oh, mate, that's bless him. Bless him. He must miss school terribly. All his little mates and stuff. That's precious gas.
Navani, the Pale Ork, do you know why it would be unwise for you to dominate the battlefield? Pale supremacy is bad, okay?
Oh, I see. Psh. Shish.
Marcus, telling Roxy to put some super glue on it. That's what
If
it
I
was
could find it, I would.
originally invented for.
Yeah, man. I do find that amusing when you're like, well, I'm bleeding from somewhere, but where I don't. Yeah.
It's like this. It's like, oh, I'm bleeding. What do I do?
You just judge
with one hand and a knife in the other.
Yeah, exactly. You just judge it by how much blood you find. It's like, it'll be grand. It'll be grand. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I'm always finding that, man. Always. Or do you know the ones that are really annoy me? It's like when you're going along and then you've got your hand's got a scrape on it and it's bleeding or something like that, and you're like, you don't even know from what. So it's bad enough when you're doing the hobby and you're like, oh, I've managed to nick myself. At least it's logical. But you'll just be minding your business and it'll be like, now when in the hell did I manage that? They're the funny ones. Mysteries.
Or when your knife's so sharp. You know those moments where you're cutting through something and it's just like, and then you go, oh, cool, yeah, done it. And then you look down and you're like, oh shit, I'm bleeding.
Yeah. You get a bit too brave and blasé with it. It's like, oh, yeah, you know. Getting a bit too comfortable with the old blade. That, yeah, accidents tend to happen.
Service announcement, guys. Safety first. Don't run with hobby knives and all that.
The hobby git. That comment is beyond the pale. Oh my god. Hobby git. I'm telling you, man. You and your terrible puns, your dad jokes, take them elsewhere. Take them out. I'm telling you.
A fresh blade can be fun at times, G-Funk. Yeah. Can be fucking scary too.
Yeah.
It's funny, after watching some of my videos back, I realised I swear way too much. Way too much.
Oh, you swear? That happens.
I just can't help it.
You know what I mean? That's sort of like the authentic Australian experience to me, though. I've never been to Australia, but I expect you all just swear like non-stop down there. You know, I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
It was funny when someone's... I was on Frost & Fists. I was checking out a stream of theirs, and they had Weather Pig. It's another Australian guy.
Mm.
He was talking to an American, on some other channel. I can't remember what it was. And they're basically asking, and they're like, so do you guys actually say like "g'day"? Like, is that actually a thing? He's like, yeah. He's like, bloody too right, we do. Just went on this huge rant of Australian slang to the point where anybody watching would be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Unless they actually know Australian slang.
There's a few words I know, but not much. I know what utes are. There you go. That's.
Yeah. Oh, well, what was it? I responded to one of your messages the other day, and you're like, what?
Oh, you said, yeah, I don't even remember what it was. I'm like, what's this?
Like, what does this mean? And I was like, oh shit, he doesn't understand what I said.
Or the dunny or something. That's another one. I was like, what?
My favorite Australian phrase is, yeah, nah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nah is no. Nah, yeah is yes. for anyone following.
Yeah, but no.
And if it sounds confusing, it's because it is. It's like, oh, did you want to go to the pub? Nah,
Orc stuff is like, guess what scalpels were invented for? Cutting stuff?
They were invented for hobby, alright?
Yeah, exactly. They're invented for accidentally amputating your own finger whilst trying to do rivets.
It's alright. Super glue was invented for.
Exactly. We have all the hobby supplies we need here. You know? We've got super glue for putting it back together.
2 likes, 16 in the chat.
2 likes.
9 likes now.
Oh, well, I see. Doing Orc Stuff's job from who I don't see. I haven't seen Orc Stuff in a while. Must be off studying.
I'm always explaining what no wuckers means. So, yeah, it's very true.
No worries, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
No,
I'm catching on, lads. I'm catching on.
No wuckers.
No wuckers, mate. Bless. That does happen. Oh, I thought it was bad, like, when I moved over to London and some people, I'd be talking to them and they'd be like, I have no idea what you're saying. I'm like, well, I'm speaking English.
I love the Irish accent. I think it's funny as. It's probably, for me, it's similar to if someone was listening to an Australian talking in Australia, like in slang and all that. Just generalize your accent that's what it does for me. I just reckon it's funny. With that, not like ha funny. It's just it's cool. I like it.
It's amusing. Ah, yeah, you get used to it. Especially when you move to a different country and some people are literally looking at you like, I have no idea what you're saying, but I'll nod and agree. I'm like, it's not that bad, mate.
And in Australia, we like having the whole. It's our sense of humour is very much. We like having a dig, just for dig's sake, like.
Yeah. That's a very Irish thing, though. That's probably where he's getting from.
Yeah. It's very, very similar. So like, I had a dig or a stab at your accent the other day on a comment, and everyone was like laughing at it. But I'd just as easily cop a comment from anybody else about our accent, kind of thing. It's like, why did Skarnir cut it 3 times? To be sure.
Jesus, boy. You've been reading too many of Hobby Gets Bleeding comments. That's what's going on there. The cheese, my days. Reloaded 11 now. Way.
I'm from the motherland, and people don't always understand me.
Oh, that's because he talks too really fast. That's all that is. All right, Dread. Yeah, I've no problem with Dread. Maybe it's because I've gone and lived with the, his peoples for a while. I understand the English. I don't think there's been any English accents that I didn't understand. Like, there's been some people from certain parts of Ireland where I'm like, you have to sort of
where it's proper like.
Yeah. I have to sort of
like
standing there looking at him like I'm trying to lip read and listen at the same time. So like you can imagine if I'm from Ireland and I'm trying to figure out what they're saying, good fucking luck to the rest of yous.
Accents are a beautiful thing.
Oh, Dred's trying to take the piss. What do you want me to say, Dred? 33 and a third. Is that what it is? Trees.
33 and a turd.
33 and a third. Three trees, a little forest.
It's three trees,
a little forest. There you go. A lot of people in Aussie couldn't understand my sarcasm when I moved here. Ah, I see. Yeah, it depends. Some people don't get sarcasm at all. Like it's just. What's really bad for it is social media. Oh my god. Yeah. It's like sarcasm's nigh on impossible to get across. Some British accents are cringy. Yeah, but that's the same with everywhere though. I'm sure there's like I'm sure there's like accents in England that English people don't like. There's accents in Ireland that Irish people don't like. I'm sure there's like some Australian accents that probably do. You're fucking not in, did he? He's thinking of the region now.
I don't like it when they're so. Although I've been coming up with a few of the old slang, I don't like people that's how they talk all the time, and it's like proper thick, like oh yeah, good day, buddy, going on. Just, that makes me mad. We call them bogan.
Oh, bogans. Bogans, right.
Yeah.
Am I being taught like evil terms here? It's like, well, thanks, Karen.
Well, in America, it's like hicks.
Oh, like this is your version of a redneck, is it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'll put that there.
So when they're full tilt,
maybe
on that's when I don't like the Australian accent.
Yeah, right. Proper thick accents.
Brack Aussie is like 90% sarcasm. Nah, yeah.
Nah, but yeah, but nah. Casey, mad. Dirty.
Dirty. We should just do a comment section and be like words read by
Yeah, exactly. Type it in the comment sections. Words will get Skarnir to say dirty. Full on bogan is the worst. Bogans are like the chavs, sort of. Ah, in the UK, it's like a gammon. A gammon? My sarcasm... The gammon... The only gammon I know of is like the gammon you eat, like the ham. Gee, funk. My sarcasm is in a league of its own. Can be. People laugh at their own jokes. You're like Dim, so you'll get on well with Dim. You and the hobby gear. Oh my god, people are busy on the old projects.
I don't usually go too much on sarcasm, but it's dad jokes is very much my thing. ever since becoming an actual dad. As soon as that happened,
is there like this sort of moment where it just, it all happens, does it?
As soon as it happened, I was given permission to come up with the worst jokes you ever heard.
You now have permission for the worst dad jokes ever. Yay. Hobby geek. Gammon can mean angry racist people. Ah, I see. I'm being educated here. Oh, right. When they get angry, they go red, pink, hence gammon. Okay, now it's making sense. Right, so I'm still trying to think of these. Bogies? Bogey wheels? I think they are bogey wheels. Or, yeah, Just got me thinking cap on here. Trying to think me through.
Screw it. Working what I got.
How are you doing on the yellow rivets there, Pale Ork? Have you managed to run dry on them, or?
I've run dry on them ages ago. I've spent the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes cutting them. Takes no time to use them.
Oh, but it takes a year and a bleeding day to make them. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Even with styrene rod, it took me, I don't know how bleeding long to cut all of these rivets out. And then once you, like, I think you sort of go into that therapeutic sort of zone when you're riveting that you get when you're painting sometimes, where you don't sort of think, you just sort of shut off and you do it. Sort of like a sort of zen type of place. You know what I mean? Does that ever happen to you? That happens to me.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah. You go into your little zen zone.
There's moments where you'll be sitting there doing a hobby and then you're going to have to do your phone or whatever and find out that you're 2 a.m. and you still need to go to fucking sleep.
It's like, Jesus Christ, what happened to the last 2 days?
It's 2 a.m. on a Sunday. It was meant to be a Friday session.
Hobby gets skillness, yeah. Exactly, yeah. No more hobby on school nights for you.
So what is your, just going back to the Knob Bash, what does your list look like? Because we've seen
my 1500
points
mostly consists of chunks of what I already have painted. So it's not like specifically slick or competitive, but the bulk of it is like 2 mobs of 30 shooter boys and then a mob of 20 slugger chopper boys. And then me looters, because that's, yeah, you know, that's what I have. That's what's
how many painted looters?
Like they all have base coats, but I have 30 of them, so I could do like 3 units of 10, or I could do 2 units of 15, or I'll decide. And then I could, you know, to try to do Psychic Awakening rules, I might do up some mechs.
Big mob and a spanner. Oh, don't you have any mechs yet?
No, I mean like the mechs for the units. You know, the standard mechs.
Spanners, yeah.
Yeah, those gits. I didn't bother building them when I got these looters. So they're at various stages. The last bit of painting I was doing on them, like this one needs, is I've been doing them in batches of 5 really, picking out some detail, and like they need the wash done, they need their skin done. Top tip: don't paint your fucking looters after you've built them. Do it beforehand. This is a pain in the ass, trying to paint the skin. But I've been doing things like bullets.
Sorry.
That's what I've been.
A lot of my Orc army was eBay purchased. So pretty much most of it is rescue and has already been pre-assembled.
Oh,
which often makes it a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But it's also gotten me used to the idea of painting stuff after it's assembled. So like this guy specifically is going to be a fucking nightmare to paint. But I'm used to that. So
yeah, I think so. I think you do get kind of used to it. But it does, you do get moments where you're trying to be super fucking precise. And then you end up painting something else and you're like, you know what I mean? Marcus is asking.
The best thing I ever did for my hobby was not care so much about the precise side of it.
That's true, but it's a habit I have that I don't know. It's just part of my character. Marcus was asking why mechs at Plasticraic Gaming. Why would I want to put the spanners or mechs into my units of 10 looters? It's so that I could give them the new Psychic Awakening stratagem.
Over spanner.
Yeah, so if they're in groups of 10, I can spend 3 command points so that each unit of 10 will roll 2 dice when they're shooting, and you pick the.
It's not 3, is it? I thought it was 1.
No, but
it's 1 if it's a unit of 10 and 2 if it's a unit of higher than 10.
That's why it's going to cost me 3. So if I do,
you can use it multiple times, can you?
Yeah, of course, because you do it before the battle. So that's what I was thinking. If I do
better than I thought it was.
3 units of 10. Well, if you can't do it multiple times, I'll just do it on 1 unit and make them 15. Do I have any flyers? Yes, I have loads of flyers. Do I have them built? No. I think I've 4 flyers. I know I've a Borna bomber. I've a Wasbomb blaster jet, and then I've 2 others. Oh, and then I've got a fighter bomber as well. That's still, yeah. G-Funk. That's why I sub build most time, because I get pissy if I glue it and can't reach. Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that as well. But I learned from someone years ago. They told me something pretty interesting. They were saying paintbrushes like light travel in straight lines. So basically, if you can't see it, You don't need to paint it. Which sounds all well and good, but I still find myself trying to paint bits that I can't see. You know? I really do. I'm a useless skipper. I think we'll just make the other bogies for this. We'll just put 2 on each side.
So obviously you're building a grok tank meow.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got much other stuff that you've built yourself?
Oh,
like either from scratch or proper kit bash?
Just a couple of bits and pieces. Nothing. Like, I've no specific projects that are like super complete. I've other stuff I've started on, and then sort of like that's how long ago this sort of got built. It's all starting to yellow now. That's from way back. I was building a track, but I don't have a lot of completed stuff. I've more dabbled here and there. So this is probably the most plasticard I've ever used in a project on a go, is this. Because I do my terrible habit of getting too precise into it and getting lost in the details. And then it's like, oh, well, yeah, well, I'll come back and finish that eventually, you know? Yeah, there's not a lot I've finished, but I seem to be changing that lately, so that's helpful. I've just been
the
one of
driving force
those...
behind my huge amount of kit bashing and stuff that I've done recently has been me not having the money to actually buy the kits.
But yeah, there's that as well. Like, if you have the materials and the time to invest into them, but you don't have the monetary cost, you know, that can help massively as well.
Can you please stop that?
No.
And
Sprague's looking for your attention, is he?
Yeah.
That's what they do. Fair play. Have you not gotten him painting yet, no?
No, not yet. In the comments, let me know. When do you think is the right time? What's young, what's too young?
I think it depends on their kids' mentalities. Like, different kids, yeah, will have different like amounts of patience. So I've tried it with my nephew, and I don't think he's 100% ready yet, because he wants to put all the paints on the palette at the same time and mix them all together. And I'm like, no, mate, pick one paint, put a base coat on, then I'll give you another one after that. But then he's like, no, I want this paint and that paint and this paint and that paint, and he just wants to mix it all. So he's a bit impatient in that regard. But if you're a young lad's patient, like, so, you know, give it a back.
He's not.
Good luck with that one, mate. Brack was saying also the custom Mega Blaster is a kick-ass weapon. It depends, Brack. If we're talking like strategically, you're losing the range that you get with the def gun, and you're losing the volume of shots. But yeah, the custom Mega Blaster could come in handy. I suppose if you were doing the whole mechs per 10 dudes, meta-wise, you're probably better off doing it with the Def Skulls. That way, at least if you have your custom Mega Blaster, or even Bad Muons as well. But I think Def Skulls or Bad Muons are the best for them.
Back in 1 second.
No bother, bud. He's been summoned. It's okay. We're still working away on our bogey wheels. Now, for an orc vehicle that's supposed to be like ramshackled and sort of knocked together, I am doing these pretty consistent. I'm thinking, right, so this is my train of thought here. I'm thinking if I have like a support up here, there, and then what I can do is I can do like a linkage coming out of the chassis, I think. So at least there'll be like a bogey support or something. Maybe I'll draw it on a piece of paper so you guys can see. I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah, for the longest time, with the back on the custom Mega Blasters, I didn't like them on them the spanners, and I didn't like using the spanners or any of that. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to use them as burners. Because if you're not running any other custom Mega Blasters in your army, they just look like a burner.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. They could do. But the fact that they've actually, they do D6 damage now, don't they? So they finally, fixed that. It was a case of, why would you take something that does D3 damage? We could just take a rocket. Like, what was the
does
point?
D6?
The custom Mega Blasters.
Oh, do they really?
It's like, oh, really?
I haven't.
That's
haven't used them
news to
since.
me, mate. Velgarn's here. What's the crack, Velgarn? Brack was saying my daughter started at 8. I'm deaf skull, so I have shed loads of custom Mega Blasters and rockets. Yeah, it makes sense with the deaf skulls because you get your roll of dice, which comes in handy.
Isn't it roll a dice per unit?
I think it's like during the to hit, like one for to hit and one for damage.
It's to hit, to wound, and damage, but I'm pretty sure it's per unit.
Yeah, it's per
like,
unit.
There might be 20 guys in this unit, but you only get one reroll of A to hit, A to wound.
Yeah, you only get one, but then you save it for the weapon that counts. So when you're doing your to hit, to wound, you're probably going to be doing it with your knob with his power claw. If you're going to be doing it on the damage, you know what I mean? You're going to select the snacky weapon to do that with. So, to get the most value out of it. And then there's no harm in it as well.
For the competitive orc players, you'll always see them running a detachment with the Death Skulls in the shock attacks. Just off to the side. So it'll be like, yeah, this is all Blood Axes, or this is all Goss, or Bad Moons. And then it's got an Outrider detachment, or one of the really small ones that's literally just there so that they can get the reroll hit, wound, damage on the shock attack gun mech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it would be what, minimum size? Super minimum. That's where units of Grots come in handy for people. But then, Grots can do their own thing now, so you might be seeing detachments of Grot subcultures that are just full of mech guns. You could be seeing a lot of that.
Run cans. Kill cans.
Run kill cans in it as well. But I definitely see it happening with the big mech guns. Definitely. Being able to reroll.
I don't have any. So guess what I'm going to be doing?
Chopping up truck kits? Oh mate, they're super expensive.
I've got.
They are super expensive. I think they're €40 per gun, and that's just sweet Jesus.
In this,
give us a look. Are you doing a close up?
It's a heap of. Yeah.
Way. Half war buggies and Necron weapons and.
It's
truck bits.
All of the spare stuff from the 5 or 6 trucks that I've had, along with. Necron bits and bike bits and buggies. So the old plastic buggies. So I've turned it into, I've cut anything that's a buggy. Ooh, sorry, kid screen. Any of the buggies have been cut in half, so that I can have it like an old school artillery thing with the 2 wheels in the platform.
Giving them the chip. Yeah, I remember you posting that up, and I was like, "That's fucking genius." It's always a great way to get a bit more roll.
Going nuts.
I'm thinking I'll just do up these bogey wheels, and then maybe something for supports. I think that's what I did these for. So I'm thinking that'll be stuck up the side of. I'll be stuck like that.
Burners may be worth it against orcs at Plasticraic. So, in your games playing against other orcs, it might be worth it.
Burners against orcs.
That works if they're running boys and boys and boys, but they seem to be running toys more than the boys.
Oh, the other lads? Yeah. I don't think people actually like the prospect of doing something like that. I don't think people actually like the prospect of doing a lot of boys because there's a lot of fucking painting, you know what I mean? So, my army list is the way it is because I actually have that stuff painted. It's
yeah.
Like, I don't think I'd take as many looters or as many boys if I was doing like a competitive type of list, but that's what I have painted, so that's what I'm bringing.
For so with my club, we used to do it was called the Mark McLaughlin Memorial Man Mangler Tournament. So a friend of the club died, and one of the props of a friend that he built was a giant chopper. So it was like a proper scaled chopper, a big chopper. And basically, you just got to hold the chopper for 12 months if you won the tournament. And it's
it's kind of like the Ashes,
sweet,
sort of.
Yeah. So, but it was a sweet like memoriam to this guy that was a big part of the club for a long time. But I remember winning one of the Man Mangler one year because I had 211 boys in a list. So I say 211 boys. There was like the full 6 units of 30 or whatever it was, or however many it worked out to be. And then like some looters and nothing else really. It was just boys, knobs. I think might have been some commanders in there. Yeah, just boys with knobs, and then looters, and yeah, you just swarm across the table.
That's it. The green toy.
I think I only lost one
fifth,
game, and it was against back in fifth. I lost one game, and it was against Necrons with their fucking Tesla.
Poke. 8 mech guns cost the same as my car did. It's like, I know, mate. I know. You think that's bad? Go look at the Forge World Titans. It's like, I could buy a small car or a Titan. Like, quite literally.
Well, I was super keen to put this guy together after I saw Roxy's post of her doing one. And I was like, man, I've always wanted one. And another one of the situations where I just could not afford it. I'm going to see if I can do that.
This is it. It's expensive. Orc stuff saying 2 triangular bits, pointy end on the bogey, and Y bit glued to the hull. A bit like a Sherman tank. That's not bad thinking, that one, Batman. I think I'll finish the rest of the bogey wheels and then I'll... Yeah, we could do something like that actually now that you're thinking about it. You can tell Orc stuff's an engineer. He's like, here, Scar, here's an idea. Right, so I'll do a quick mock-up off of...
Orc stuff, is that the one that does the metal?
He does the milliput, man. Yeah, he's a legend. You want to see his stuff up close.
Mad.
Fucking dirty is what it is.
Dirty.
There you go. Let's try use this as like a steel real...
Tell you what, I'm going to want to get my army painted before too long too, because I think my shaking's only going to get worse.
Are you planning on playing in any tournaments with your army once you get it sorted, or...?
Yeah, I'm going to do a thing highlighting the Revenue Wing. So for my Revenue Wing, I've got 8 bikes and 40 Gretchen to paint. And then that's it. It's done. I've done the rest of the bikes. Like,
something like that. Maybe. Bogey wheel. Could do, and then do 2 melting points up here.
Big old box of bikes.
Box of bikes.
2, 4,
Give us a gander.
8, 10.
I have a fair few bikes myself now that I actually sat down and I was like, yeah, that's a big old box of bikes.
Yeah, there's the actual box out of it. I don't see it.
Nice.
So it looks like a mess of green, but they actually look pretty good on the
How many points does that run up as?
9, 12. So when it's all together, go play.
I just got my shoes on. So can I go play outside now?
So when it's all together, with the exception of, so my list is with the exception of the 40 Gretchen and a Dakar Jet. The rest of it's bikes. So just to put it into a bit of context, that's how many points worth I've got devoted to just the bike side of stuff.
Yeah, fair old chunk. I was thinking of that myself because I'm thinking of like once I get the 1500 points done, what am I then gonna bolt onto it to make it like 2K? And then after that, I'll chop and change stuff if I want. You know what I mean? And I was thinking bikes are a great way of doing that, especially because you can take them like units of 12.
I couldn't. So when I started putting lists up, everyone's like, "Oh, don't do war bikes. They're shit." And I was like, "You are we reading the same stat line here? Like, I understand that they're a bit overcosted, but like, they're toughness 5. They're multiple wounds. They've got 4+ save. They shoot 6 shots."
Yeah,
Like,
I was looking at the 6 DACA going, nice.
Yeah. But it just turns into, it's like, yeah, it's cool. So I understand that you might have not had a lot of success with warbikers in your unit of 5, 6 that you might be running. I'm running 30 something, which means my entire army is going to be across the table turn 1 and shooting stuff. So yeah, I actually got to playtest the army recently against a Necron army.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were like, okay, I'm going to turtle. And they just clumped all this stuff together real tight. I was like, okay, cool. So I just spread out and then just pinch it in. But end of turn 1, like 80% of his army was dead just from shooting. Just the bucket of dice that my army throws out and running them as bad moons.
Rerolling the ones, yeah. Well, because I was looking, like I was said, I was talking about that Vigilist attachment, and there's a stratagem they use. I think it's for 2 command points, so it's going to cost you 3 command points for their specialist attachment to run as speed freaks. But it's like you can literally get across the board on turn 1 and charge. It's like, you what?
Yeah, cool. So my army, I can't remember if I felt it was doing something. Oh, it was. It's on my phone, I think. But it's 2 big units of bikers, 1 unit of non-bikers. So there's, I say big units, they're units of 9 war bikers, 9 or 10. And then it's a unit of 5 melt bikers, a pain boy on a bike, a war boss on a bike, a death killer war trike, and 3 units of 3 war bikers in an outrider detachment with a weird boy. So the weird boy gives me that tiny bit of anti-psycho, as well as giving me the jump, because putting a death killer war trike behind your enemy is funny. But then, yeah, the rest of it is, it's a lot of bikes. A lot of bikes. And
Bikes are fun. I think it looks good as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you can get them cheap second hand, like the way you managed to, you managed to get a fair lump of them for a decent price. If you can get them cheap second hand, then I think they're decent. Otherwise, like, if you're buying off a GW retail, yeah, it doesn't happen that often. But like, I was looking at the retail, man, and I'm like, hell, 30 quid for trade, 30 euro for trade. Jesus Christ!
It's like 65. Yeah.
Australian. This is the thing.
No, $62, I think.
This is the only downside to having a conversation with an Australian about the hobby. It's like, I'm giving out about how expensive it is, and it's like, you think that's expensive, mate?
You can't complain. You can't. You have no leg to stand on. It's just like,
you called it expensive? This is expensive.
You guys get like $2 paint pots when you pay $7. Come on.
Me, it's like fucking, I don't know, 3 something, whatever. It's like, oh, I see you've played Knifey Spoony before, mate, eh? Oh, I love it.
Velgren. Pale. I've got a box of bikes. I do have a box of bikes.
I love it.
So when I started doing orcs, the first tournament I went to was Arcanicon, which I mentioned earlier, being the biggest tournament. The first couple of years I took the first painted orcs that I had was I was like, fuck it, going to a tournament, can't be bothered painting up that many boys. I'm just going knobs in trucks. This is back when you could take them as troops.
If you took a war boss, you could take guys as troops. Yeah.
So I had Big Red, which is my war boss on a war bike, because he was a 12-inch moving Carnifex. And then a Deathcopter, called him Ironhide, just a silver painted Deathcopter with twin rockets and a buzzsaw. Because turn 1 combat with a vehicle and then kill it.
Yeah. I used to do the same.
And then it was four trucks with 2 units of 6 and 2 units of 5 knobs. So yeah, Warboss on a Warbike, 20-something, 22 knobs, 4 trucks, and yeah, not a lot else. And
How
it would
did
be
it fare
turn
for you?
1. What was that?
How did it fare for you?
Really well, but so in Australia we work on when we're doing armies, it's like a comp system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a handicap to stop people from playing stupidly competitive lists and encourage new players to come. It's so the new guy doesn't turn up and go, oh well, I just got stomped into the dirt every game.
What's the point in being in the hobby? Yeah.
It turns into cash hammer, which I understand that in a lot of places that's just how it is. Like America is big on that. They just like playing the most competitive possible list that you can do, but in Australia we seem to like it being a bit more fair and more fun.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I took this list with the knobs and things, and like turn 2, turn 3 was my average for winning the game.
Nice.
So of the 6 games, I won 5 of them. The first year that I took it, but then I came second last, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then upon looking at the scores, so when you rate a list, it's from 5. So your opponent rates your list when they play against you, and it was from 1 to 5, or 0 is a skull, which is this is too competitive. It was bullshit. Wasn't fun to play against. Blah blah blah. And 3 people sculled my list.
Oh, they didn't enjoy it.
Well, one Necron player I've played, he called it at the start of his turn 2 because turn 1 I took out. No, sorry, it was a Marine guy who it was day 2. He was hungover as shit.
That's not a good combination.
Gets to the start of his turn 2 and he just calls it because I'd already taken out like 80% of his army by the end of turn 1. So turn 1 I'd made combat with, because I don't know why, he, as an idiot, stuck everything on the 24, and then orcs being orcs, I don't know if anybody used to do
ahead
it,
at you. Yeah.
but it was a big thing that we'd do. You'd stick them back when pivoting was a thing. You'd stick your vehicle on its side on against the edge of the board, so that when you pivoted, because you
got extra movement. Were you being a cheese whore?
Oh yeah, I was going full tilt. So at the time, doing that was very much like.
I think that skull was well earned, good sir.
You know they're going to do it. Why would you park right on the 24? So I ended up getting in combat with everything turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it was back when you could throw a truck down the line, get the guys out, and then charge. Just awesome, like really good.
Those were the days.
I thought, yeah.
Those were the days.
Or at least back when knobs were really good, because you could separate the wounds and stuff too, which was awesome.
The wounds allocation shenanigans. Oh yeah, I was in tournaments at the time as well, and I literally showed someone how to use it against me. I was like, "Here, look, I'll teach you how to play. I'm not doing well in this tournament. I'm like mid. I think I did like mid or low mid. I just don't have the competitive streak in me. You know what I mean?" And I came across an orc player who literally got a net list off of someone and didn't know how to play it. And I was like, no, mate. This is how you do wound allocation. Here, I'll show you.
But yeah, by the time you do that, the survivability that you get out of them was insane.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, for me to go turn 1, Deathcopter into your tank, trucks, or Warboss across the table, trucks, jump forward, everybody out, bang. Now you have no transports, you're not holding any objectives, I'm holding, like, whatever. But it just turns into, okay, so now if you want to do anything, you've got a foot slug across the table while I'm still shooting you and getting you, well, I've got trucks. Because I didn't lose any of my mobility at that point. He didn't get a turn 1 where he was able to shoot any of my stuff with any las cannons that he had, because I killed all his vehicles.
The joys. Yeah, they were good times.
Very
I used to run
fun lists to play.
I used to run like 7 or 5? 5? I think it was 5 battle wagons with like mega knobs
That's
and
awesome.
death rollers. Yeah, it was just the whole point of it was just the death roller stuff, and it either worked
Yeah.
really, really well or really, really badly. It was just hilarious. But it was totally lazy, man. I think you can actually, if you go onto my channel, you'll find it's like from 2010, 2011. That's when I did the tournaments. I think I went to like 3 tournaments, something like that. I recorded a couple of them. I brought a camera with me. In fact, that was what my initial incentive for a camera was so I could record tournaments.
Yep.
And I used to record in between turns. I'd ask me upon them, like, is it cool? I just want to record this. And that's why if you go back and watch them, you didn't get much time on YouTube back then. I think you could only do like 10-minute videos.
10-minute videos was the cap, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you can only do 10-minute videos. And then because it was a tournament, I didn't want to be seen as someone who wasted other people's time either. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'd be like,
that's a bit different, isn't it?
yeah, I'd be like, oh, right, blah, 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 this happened. Go! But yeah, everyone I played against was happy. They were like, yeah, sweet.
It's difficult for me doing like battle reps and stuff here because I've literally just got to rely on club members to be able to do it. Like friends of mine that are actually willing to do it.
Well, this is it. Like, I haven't got any bat reps on my channel since then, but it's because wanting to have fully painted armies and then wanting to record stuff. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we started doing, so that was my knobs in trucks, which took it for a couple of years, and then I went, it's depressing because I keep getting scolded. People don't like the list. Doesn't matter if it's getting its ass kicked when I'm at home against other people that are taking their lists and they're not getting scolded. It's like, okay. I'm just having really good luck.
Someone's had knob envy. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was two years in a row where I performed really well and ended really badly with these knobs and trucks. And I was like, I love playing this list, but I'm gonna switch it up. So I ended up going with I borrowed a friend's Necron list, and I actually got a turn 1 victory and did this, like, ended up doing really well with it again. That's same thing. People just stop at this. It's like, fuck's sake.
Turn 1 victory. My day.
Yeah,
You just can't help
turn 1.
yourself. Can't help
with
yourself.
The mission, with the mission that we were playing, you were able to put stuff in reserve, and then you got to pick when it went on.
Yeah.
But also what table edge it went on from.
Ah.
So it was some like weird, crazy mission. But what happened was he's like, okay, so nothing could come in turn 1. But I decided, okay, I'm not going to take advantage of it. I'll just have everything on the board. And he just puts like 8 demon prints.
Yeah, you wiped the stuff that was there. Yeah, I get you.
He had a single demon prince sitting in the back corner behind terrain. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to
kill him.
Veil of Darkness with my death marks. That guy is the one marked for death, so I get rerolls. And then he underestimated how far the 3 units of destroyers could move.
Oh.
And then they just went up straight up the flanks and then shot the absolute shit out of him with AP3 weapons, so I had to rely on his invulnerable save. And yeah, they very, very quickly made short work of it. And he's like, we're like 10 minutes into the game. He's like, oh, cool, you've tabled me. You want to play again? Yeah, sure. So we had enough time to play 2 games. I won both times.
Well, at least you got another game.
Scared.
That's cool.
I was shit scared because his army was like a couple of demon princes. There was like 2 demon princes, a heap of marines in rhinos, and 3 helldrakes.
Oof.
At the time when flyers just came in and the helldrakes were like an absolute nightmare.
Beasts. Yeah. Back in
they're bad enough for marines, but against boys it was like
yeah. Ah well, you know. Shits and giggles. Who's saying what in the comment section? Hobbygate is saying never complain about GW prices with Aussies. It's like, I know, I've learned the hard way. Marcus is saying I'm working on Defcopters. Saying that to Pike.
Nice.
Brack was saying, do you guys still do that down in Vic? You must be talking about the tournament, is it? Or the event?
The Arcanicon still runs. I haven't been to it for years. So we did have a local tournament here with our channel, or with our group, the gaming club. And then it turned into a heap of Melbourne guys would come down and play in it. So it was a Blade Storm was the name of the tournament we ended up running locally. But then people would come from ages to actually come and play in it, which was cool. So that's the only other tournament I've played in since playing in Ark years ago. But there's a few in Melbourne. It's just I live a long way from there, so it's not happening.
Yeah. Australia being Australia. Engineer Jeff's here. What's the crack, bud? Hobby Gator saying the UK competitive scene is awful. I avoid it as much as possible, but many power gamers deny they are power gamers. It just, yeah, it is what it is.
I prefer fun.
Yeah.
Like I say that I've just listed off a couple of.
Yeah, it's like I prefer fun. Rattles off his previous power gaming lists as hell. It's like,
it wasn't even power gaming.
I'm forging the narrative, mate. I'm only with you. Don't worry.
Knobs in trucks. Knobs in trucks.
Knobs in trucks is like, yeah, that's like, you know, that's nothing
it's
special.
Literally an army worth of knobs, all in trucks. And until you play against it, it sounds terrible on paper. Even then, it sounded terrible on paper.
Even then, it's like knobs and trucks. I
post up the list to, so we've got like Wargame AU is a big 40k forum for Australia, and I used to post up lists, and I posted the Orc one up, the knob list, and everyone's like, "You're never gonna win a game." And I was like, "Really?" Because I've just got like 12 games and 1 loss.
People be like,
and they're like, "What? How?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just took it to a tournament, got sculled 3 times, like just because I performed well."
It's cool crack, man. It's cool crack. Skull envy, that's what it. Knob envy, there we go. Knob envy of the highest degree. Right, Gruts and Gits. It's that time of the stream again. So if you've been doing work in progress, I've thrown up the link into the chat there. Throw in your work in progress images into the Discord, and we'll go have a gander and see what else people have been messing around with. I have managed to get some bogey wheels built. I think I'll actually get this finished soon. I won't put a date on it. We know what we like with me and dates. But it's coming along nicely, actually. It's coming along.
Not committing to a date.
Not committing to a date. I'll just keep it loosey goosey. You know what I mean? It'll get done when it's done. You can't rush perfection here, gents. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you can't rush perfection.
You can't rush.
We'll go with that. So we'll jump over to the Discord work in progress. There's a few bits there, so if you still want to add in, I'm sure we'll get to it eventually. So let's jump over. But right, well, first off the bat, who have we got? We got Dreadwell gaming tonight. I'm working on some def copies and a squad of 5 knobs with choppers. So Dread was starting his night off with flyers. These little oh, I've seen these before. Jesus, who are they from? They're not Cromlech, are they? I don't think they're Cromlech. I can't remember now. I'm liking the Red Baron one. The old
they look very Cromlech.
They do look very Cromlech, but for some reason my brain's like, nah, that doesn't look Cromlech. I don't know. I'm losing it. And then he's those
are sick looking copters though.
They are sick looking, man. They're pretty good.
I've seen them done up as like a knob or a wall boss on a bike without they didn't have the wings. They just done it up like a big bike.
Oh, just a giant engine. Yeah.
Yeah, just a giant engine.
It does be swank, alright. Does be swank. It's got metal knobs for his knobs. I actually have this miniature here, this middle one. It was bought for me years ago. I still have it buried around somewhere. I need to dig it out. But he's doing his usual mix and match. Is pick and mix orcs. That's what I'll call them. It's pick and mix orcs. He likes a bit of diversity.
The amount of effort put into just assembling his stuff.
Yeah, that's what I love about Tread. It's like the effort he puts into just building them. It's like, I want them to be unique, lads. It's like, all right, we get you. Understandable.
Whereas I like to have like highlight pieces, so like this guy, or like characters. But I don't worry that much about rank and file knobs and
the chaff. I get you. I'm like that myself. Ideally, I'd love to have like a total custom army, but I just don't have the fucking patience. Pale green git, just going to finish up my big mech with custom force field. Ooh,
Looks sweet.
that does look sweet. That does look sweet.
Modern pale. Not quite as pale as mine, but still pale.
Not quite as pale as yours, but it is pretty sweet. Nice use of it, man. I'm liking the whole mechanical thing going on. It's sort of like pseudo Mechanicus. You know what I mean? Getting that sort of like Mechatendril type of vibe. It is cool, man. It does. That is a really nice paint job. Oh, there we go.
Well, it's just said someone's not bitter at all about the spell fucking name.
Not at all, mate. Not me, bitter? Never.
I was fuming. If being honest, I was fuming.
I'd say so, man. You're like, oh, this isn't Power Gamery. It's like 3 skulls later. Oh, it is, bastard.
Oh my god. You guts, what have you done?
This is amazing. That's
very well painted.
That's very well painted. Still work in progress, so oh my god, yeah. I'm liking it. I'm looking forward to seeing that one finished up, definitely. Gear Guts. Been designing guard all morning. So he's doing his bruisers that can be 3D printed, and these ones are sort of like guard inspired. Oh, very nice. If you're not on Gear Guts' Patreon, get your arse over there. Go join his Patreon. Go look for Gear Guts for him. And yeah, you can get the files there. And yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, Shaman's been busy. Very nice. Yep, I'll have to build that 3D printer soon. Corca Marcos is working on his wagon. He's still chipping away at his wagon. Nice, man.
Love his rust. Looks really good.
The rust, yeah, it does looks nice. Nice. Yeah. I like the little touch that he added in. I remember him posting up about it on the 40k Orc community group about posting adding the little dude in the back there. I think it normally there's a periscope that goes there or something. Or is that up the front a bit? It's normally something around there.
Oh, it's at the tank guy. Yep, now I know what you're talking about. I was like, what are you talking about? I was just spotted him in the corner there.
Yeah. It's like, well,
it seems a little bit too far off to the corner for me.
A little bit, but you could get away with it. I think, yeah, you could probably move it a couple of mil, but I think where it is, it's fine. You know what I mean? Def Copters as well. Everyone's gone mad for their Def Copters.
Sweet. I'm loving the hazard on the wings.
Yeah, hazard on the blades looks really nice. I'm liking that green as well. I wasn't originally sold on green with orcs years and years ago, but now I'm like, if you do it right and their skin tone's different, like if you stick to military colours for the vehicles, I think it looks really well, actually. It looks really well. They are looking sweet, dude. I'm liking the bases too. Bases are really nice. But yeah, those hazards on the blades.
Scrapyard stuff seems really orky. Always has been.
Yeah, but even the setting of it, like, it's nice. Sort of sorted. And then coming along nicely. Yeah, I see what you mean about the being a little bit too close to the edge. It makes it look like he's super squished to the side. But I still think it looks
5
good.
minutes, bud. Yeah.
It looks good.
Is it?
I really want pancakes or some turkey.
No.
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 My
Not
lunchbox.
No.
Oh, but I want some turkeys in my lunchbox.
It's like, no. Aw. That's the handle thing I was talking about, guys, just for reference. If you were asking, it's like a mobile phone holder thing. I literally clamp it into my desk. There's the camera, desk. Boosh.
Okay.
The War Boss primed. Now let the primer cure. Nice. I'm desk envy, mate. Look at how tidy that is. Mine's an absolute goddamn mess.
Yeah, it's just to say mine is not that.
Nah, mate. I wish. I absolutely wish. There's like bits of mechs and plasticard and cars for fucking gaslands and God knows what else on this desk. Bits of everything. Nice. The old Beltan green as well. That's not. I tried Beltan green as a shade, but I went for a Athonian camo shade instead. Nice colours though. Nice.
The old Kislev flesh.
Yeah, rebottled. Dread was. So there's a good bit of green stuff to do with the 5 of them. This is the general aesthetic I'm going with them. Percents and knobs with 2 choppers each. Cost nothing extra in points, but that's a lot of nasty attacks when they pull out of a battle wagon. Alongside 15 tank posters in my 2,000 point list. Oh, so this is the extra bits and pieces in his 2,000 point list.
You should stop worrying about the extra 500 points and just paint stuff.
Yeah. Focus, Dread. Focus. One thing at a time. But I understand Dread's sort of like, he's explained it. He does all the building and then he goes into painting mode once building's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Working on a work in progress knob. Nice. That's Azagiev.
That's a sweet looking hat.
It's a nice hat, yeah. It's very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Looking forward to seeing that finished up as a Jeff. Good man. Gear guts. More stuff.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's good.
The shovel.
Look how thick that shovel is. Boy Jesus. Doesn't look like it'll actually. Yeah, it doesn't look like it'll actually like dig. It's more sort of like it's more sort of the brute force and ignorance of the orc wielding it moves the dirt more so than it's actually a decent shovel. You know.
It's a bludgeoning tool.
It is bludgeon the ground into submission. There will be a trench here. Oh, sweet man, sweet. Navani just doing some minor bug fixing on this guy. So he's got a def copter gun. Looks like he's turned it into an artillery piece of sorts.
No, it's a shock attack gun.
Yeah.
Mech on a bike.
Ah, I see.
I was going to do one of those. I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle it, but yeah, that's definitely an inspiring piece.
Yeah, I like the concept, man. Looking forward to seeing it finished up. You need to get yourself some cables. Lots of cables and stuff. That's the only thing I'd add in here. Good few bits and pieces of cables. Get yourself an L green stuff cable.
Check out some of my spotlights. You'll see that.
Oh, this is it. We'll get a decent look at your handmade rivets. Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. Yeah, they look good. I like them. Where did you get the orange drum from? Is it like a kid's candy? Toy or toy? Kid's toy?
Just like one of those construction
or
truck kind of thing, yeah.
Garage sets, that type of thing. I get you, yeah. My little nephew has a few of them actually.
Yeah, once it's painted up, it will tie nice. And you can see I've deliberately done the weld.
Yeah.
With bicarbon.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Tubes coming in and out. Is this chest piece? Is that like one of those Age of Sigmar dwarfy things? Or what's
no, it's Necron.
Oh, it's Necron. No wonder I don't know the part. I'm looking at it going, well, the sweet Jesus is that.
The arms just below that as well. The side bits off the arc. So the things that look like arms going down just in front of him.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah, these bits here, they're off the arc, are they? Because like, apart from that, it's like, oh, well, this is Kilcan, that's Truck Pit. You know what I mean? If it's orky bits, I'll figure it out.
There's a lot of marine doors and stuff.
It's all bits of gummins and stuff. It's coming along nicely, dude. It is coming along really nicely. And I like your stacks along the spine. I think that looks pretty good as well. That's a good...
I was going to break it up. I'm like, how do I do it? Do I put spikes on there? And I couldn't find anything that I was happy with. Like, toothpicks look too small and whatever else. I'm like, but I need to figure out a way to put those spikes on there. Put the exhaust on there. And I felt like when I did the concept for the back end, it looked like there was too much going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. You don't want it to look too busy either. Gorka Marcos making progress on more Coptis. Coptis everywhere. These ones are blue. Coming along nicely. Nice blue going. Like in the shoulder pad, nice touch. Sweet, dude. Sweet. We got Hans. Hans working on his Skaven. Hans is indeed working away on his old Skaven. Fair play, Hans. He's working on the old Clan Rats. And he's got his Giselles. Nice. Fair play. Still painting the Skaven horse. Skarnir, you need to use the chunky tracks.
Chunky tracks, yeah.
Yeah. For Grotank at KV2, I've seen a KV1 and KV2, little Grotank's absolute beast. Chunky tracks. Gonna have to do chunky tracks, so. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. Definitely. Looks like a KV1. Nice.
Dread really getting the finger out.
Yeah, Dread is getting the finger, really getting the finger out there. Yep. Good man, Dread, good man. Getting his build on. Grumpy Viking slash Dim Reaper slash the Hobby Gate is painting the Scooby-Doo crew for a game. I suppose this is probably...
For no reason whatsoever.
Nah, they look like they're for, what's that game called? Zombicide? Looks like you could probably play these in Zombicide or something, because they've all got axes and they look like zombie survivors. And then he's painting snotlings on 25mm for no reason whatsoever. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, but you see what I mean? Like, the snotlings are... It's a bit of a size difference to them, alright. Bit of a size difference. Nice. Gee, the Hyper Sapien is working on his...
His own gas.
His own gas. Fair play.
School starts in 10 minutes.
We're nearly finished. Nearly there. Nice. Brack the Warboss is working on a Dread. Fair play. Blue as well. Working away. Nice. 2 custom Mega Blasters. 2 claws. Nice combination. Nice. The Red Mech's getting some painting done on sub-assemblies. Nice base coats you got going on there, dude. Fair play to you. You've done even more sub-assemblies than I have. I didn't even bother. I'll glue these things on the wheels. Getting Roxy, what bleeding madness is this woman up to? I like it. I like it. What do you think, Pale Ork?
It's huge.
That's what she said. Oh.
I'm liking the backwards radar.
Yeah, backwards radars always look nice, dude. I'm looking forward to seeing what this. And smart use of sprue as well. Yeah, that's a bleeding roller and a half. That is a roller and a half. Gee, the Hyper Sapien still working away. As a Jeff. Plinking away in his build. Fair play, fair play. He's getting there. Nice. And then we have... Oh my god, there's loads of stuff this time. Mega Knobs, Renegades. Milliput for blue stuffs. Oh, someone's doing Milliput Mega Knobs. I think I've seen someone do that before. Fair play. Orc stuff updating me Warboss. Nice. Looking forward to seeing that finished up. Velgarner should spray these kits and start painting them soon. He's got his Blood Bowl freebuilders going. I like the one with the 2 claws for arms. They're looking nice.
That works.
And then last but not least, Poke Cactus is doing bases. That looks sweet. And everyone, their cousins doing Def Cactus for some reason. So fair play. Yeah, it's been great crack. I've got a little bit of progress done. You got a bit of progress done. You managed to use your rivets up there, Pale Ork.
Yeah, 3 times over.
3 times over. Good man yourself. We've smashed the 2-hour mark and beyond. I got a bit of progress done. I'm happy enough. I'll keep plinking away at this myself. And yeah, if you're not subscribed to the Pale Ork, get your ass over there and subscribe to him and hit bell buttons. And if you're not subscribed here, you should be subscribed and hitting bell buttons.
All that
and
YouTube stuff.
And all that YouTube-y crap that they get you to do, even though you still don't get notifications. But we won't go into that. All right, so it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. We'll get you on again soon. Hopefully, if we haven't got you in too much trouble, but you know.
Yeah.
And we look forward to we look forward to seeing your project finish. So it's good boy from Skarnir, and don't forget to keep drilling your barrels. Apparently, I need like an outro, so take it easy, guys.
Yes.
Pacha.
Sorted.